Hi everyone, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is Wednesday the 7th of November and I'm here for a FlossTube update. I was hoping to come back last week, but I didn't because my daughter was unwell, so she didn't go to preschool. And so therefore I didn't have time. But I'm back today, so I have a lot to show you. I'm hoping that this video won't be too long because it will take ages to upload, but we'll do what we can. Thank you so much for everyone who watched, liked and commented on my Mirabilia parade. I had a lot of fun making it and there was a lot of positive comments on that, so thank you so much for everyone who took the time to watch that. I also got quite a few new subscriptions from that, so welcome to my channel if you are a new subscriber. And welcome back if you've been here before. I wanted to start out my video by giving a big shout out to my friend Holly, who found, I think she knew that I had a channel but didn't realize that I made videos, and she's found them now, and she was commenting on how much she enjoys them, even though she is not a cross stitcher. But she is an amazing mum to 4 children. Her oldest one is the same age as Heidi, so she's 4. And the youngest one is about, I think, 2.5 months old. So she's a very busy woman. She, in between that, are 2-year-old twins. And she has an amazing channel called Little But Once, and I will link it below. It doesn't have anything to do with cross stitch, but if you do have young children, it's well worth watching. They're very short videos, usually under 2 minutes, and she gives tips and tricks on how to sort washing and storage for children's clothing and things like that. So yeah, I highly recommend checking her channel out. And yeah, I wanted to say a big hello to Holly. Okay, so now we will get into the cross stitching. So I've worked on a number of whips over the last couple of weeks. I did have a new start, and this was a planned new start, and it was Andromeda by Mirabilia, which I am stitching with Terry from Terry Lee Crafts. Hi Terry. And I want to thank Teresa Little Stitcher as well, who told me that she was, I watch her channel anyway. I think a lot of us do, but if you don't, I will link her below as well. But she mentioned that she's also stitching Andromeda on a lighter fabric, and she told me to go and watch her latest video, which I wasn't quite up to yet, but I did go. And so that kind of made me feel better about my stitching on this. So this is a light fabric. I know most people will stitch this on a darker fabric, but I didn't want to. I just felt like it would be better on a lighter fabric for some reason. It's just my personal opinion. But this is Summer Sky. I think it's from Richell. Yeah, it's 32 count Summer Sky, 32 count Lugana, I believe, on Summer Sky. And I put this on my Instagram channel and I said that it looks to me like it's a kangaroo, and I can't unsee that. It's the top of her head, but it looks like a kangaroo. And my husband said, oh, well, are you stitching a kangaroo? And I said, no, I'm actually stitching a lady on a rock. So yeah, that's just the tip of her hair there. The purple is, I guess, like a feather or something that she's got in her head, but yeah. So there's my Andromeda / kangaroo start on that, and I will get back to that one later this month. I also worked on, just for the 1st of November, I worked on Enchanted Mermaid, and if you're not aware, there's Mervember throughout the month of November, which is working on any mermaid by Mirabilia. So I'm working on Enchanted Mermaid, and I have this one in my favourite project bag, which was made by Taryn from Teaser Handmaids, and I will link that below. She is an Australian, and she makes project bags as well as tote bags and library bags and any other kind of bag that you choose from her. Here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here's where it is now. So I haven't done a whole lot on that one, just the top of her hair. But I will be getting back to this one at the end of the month as well. And I'll go through my plans later on. And that one is being stitched on a silk weaver fabric. It's a silk weaver 28 count Lugana in opalescent, and it's called Summer Sunset. So that's that one. Guardians of Notre Dame. Here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So the second last block came in. It's a bit like an elephant, but that is a chimera on the Church of Notre Dame in France. And so the very last block will come out on the 1st of December, and I should have this finished shortly after that, so I'm looking forward to that. I've decided not to do any more mystery sales next year, just because I already have the Prairie Schooler that I've committed to doing 1 block a month on that, and I'm kind of trying to sort of free up my time a little bit more. But what I wanted to say about this, I had my needle. The way I store things is I put my needle minder somewhere on the piece, and then I put my needle under the needle minder, but sewn into the fabric, so that it can't be knocked off if I, you know, knock it off, or it touches the project bag it's in or whatever. But it actually left a rust mark, even though it had been in there for less than a month. It left a rust mark, and I was lucky that I've stitched over it so you can't see it at all. But yeah, I just wanted people to be aware that even if you're only planning to leave your needle in your fabric for a short amount of time, it can leave a rust mark. So yeah, but I'm really enjoying that, and I'm looking forward to finishing it off shortly after the 1st of December. I pulled out Adventure Awaits by Caterpillar Stitches, and I will put in what I had on this last time you saw it. And here it is now. So I spent a couple of days on this. I think it was getting towards the end of last month, and I was supposed to be working on Boy King, but every time I pulled it out, all I did was stare at it. I just didn't have any inclination to work on it at all. So I put it away and pulled this one out, and I really enjoyed it. The more I stitch on this, the more I'm loving it. So it is a mystery sale, so I don't know what it will look like at the end. I mean, I've got a general inkling. It's basically got the continents and features of those continents in the proper geographical place, as if you were looking at a flat map. So there I've got, I think I've almost finished the second block on this, even though we're up to block number 5, I think. And it's coming out in 6 parts, so the final block will be out later this month. But yeah, I really enjoyed it when I did spend time on it, so I'm looking forward to getting back to that a bit later on. And I don't usually set aside time to work on this one. It's just whenever I've got a few minutes here or there, or a couple of days where I don't feel like working on anything else. And it will just be finished whenever it's finished. So there's no set time on that one. I also pulled out one that you haven't seen for a long time. This is Kingdom of Books. I believe the designer is Make My Own Hands, but don't quote me on that one. because everything's in Russian, so I can't read Russian. So yeah, that's that one. And last time you saw it, it looked like this. Now I'm stitching this one on a massive piece of fabric from Colour Cascade Fabrics, and it's called Gold Digger Old World Map Style. I think it's a 32 count Lugana. I switched out the fabric that came in the kit because I didn't like the fact that it was white, and the pattern calls for stitching all this background, and I wasn't going to do that, so I decided to use a hand-dyed fabric instead. And I'm still on the very first book on the left, which is that one. And I honestly don't know whether I'll ever get this one done. It seems to me more overwhelming than your average Heaven and Earth designs or Tilt and Craft designs or any full coverage piece. So yeah, I was looking at how much I've got left to do, and it's just I don't know when it's ever going to get done. But anyway, that's the first book on quite a few books on that pattern. I was supposed to, my goal for this year was to stitch the first book, but I don't think that's going to happen. I also pulled out Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs, and I'm really enjoying this piece. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. That is a needle minder there, that's not part of the design, but really enjoying this piece. It's on a 28 count or 32 count even weave, and it was originally white, but I tea dyed it in chamomile tea, so it's got a yellowy tinge now. So yeah, really liking working on that one. I also worked on Storykeep Secret Door, which will look like this when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now, and this is being stitched on 25 count Lugana 1/1. And I finished page 3. I don't know if I had finished that at the time I showed it last time, but I finished page 3 and almost finished page 4. I had a marathon stitching session this weekend. I had finished page 3 last month, and I pulled this out to start on page 4 and almost finished it through the weekend. I was just really enjoying it, which is surprising because this page has a lot of, that color is mainly black, DMC 310. So I spent a lot of time on that, but at the same time it went really quickly because there's not so much confetti on it. I've got a parked thread here. This is DMC 310 as well, because that block kind of continues all the way down to the end of the piece. And I thought if I'm ever in the mood to just do a block of colour, I'll just take it up from there, and I won't need to count in to find the right place or anything like that. I can just go ahead with that. So yeah, really enjoying this piece. I had thought maybe I'll just end it on this page, and that still looks like a complete piece of art, but then I looked at the pattern and the picture, and the bottom of this sleeve comes down really nicely, and I thought, no, I'll lose a lot of detail if I just end it. So, and I am enjoying working on it, so there's no reason to stop working on it really. So yeah, I want to finish that page by the end of this month because I'm so close. And then my Prairie Schooler alphabet, I think I had finished the J and the K the last time you saw this, and I had started on the L block, which is for leaves. L is for leaves. So here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And there it is now. And then on Monday, I think, I started working on M is for Mermaid, which is that block. And this is what I've got on her so far. So that's where this is so far. And that one is being stitched on 28 count Lugana 1/1 on white. And I've already done A to I, the first 9 letters, and this one will be the next 9 letters, and then the last piece will be the last 8 letters as well as the ampersand. So that's 27 blocks. Fit nicely on 3 different bits of paper, different bits of fabric. Okay, I'm gonna go through plans. So my plans for the rest of the month is to continue on the Prairie Schooler alphabet, and I want to finish the M block for that one. I don't think I'll start on the M block, on like N block, but I do want to finish the M block this month. I want to finish the page that I'm working on for Storykeep Secret Door. I want to start finally Weatherwise by the Prairie Schooler. I don't know what that was. This one, I got this a while ago. I found it on Stash Unload. It is out of print. It has been a unicorn chart for a very long time for me. And I said I wouldn't wait to start it. And now I have everything I need to work on it, so I've decided to just go ahead with it. I have this is a 25 count, I think, Lugana that I tea dyed with white tea, so not tea with milk in it, but actual white tea. I didn't like the taste of this tea that we've got, so I put in about 6 tea bags in some boiling water and left this in with it overnight, and it came out, it's kind of a beige colour. So yeah, I'll be stitching Weatherwise on this piece of fabric, and I'll be doing that 1/1. I'm not sure if it's 28 count or 25 count. It may even be 28 count, but yeah, I'll be stitching that one 1/1, and I'm looking forward to starting that one. So you'll see a little bit of work on that hopefully next time. And then because it's Movember, I want to spend at least a week on Enchanted Mermaid by Mirabilia. And I know Andromeda isn't a mermaid, but I also want to spend a week on that one if there's time. So I'll go back to that one as well. So I'm going to put all this away, and then I'm going to come back to show you a few other things. So, okay, I'm back. We were cleaning out the garage about a week ago, and my husband found a box with some childhood stuff of mine in there, and it was a latch hook kit that was going to look like that. And it's actually finished, and I can't remember doing this. I remember doing a little bit of latch hook when I was growing up. I think it was probably in high school, and I don't remember stitching this one, but it's done. So yeah, I don't know where the latch hook itself has gone, or if I did any others. Yeah, I thought I'd show you that. Yeah, just miscellany. Now for what I've received over the month. I finally received Lady Mirabilia, which if you saw my Mirabilia parade, you would have seen this one. Finally received it after a 4-month wait. So I'm looking forward to stitching her. And I will be starting her on my birthday in December. I also, if you don't like crinkle, I'm sorry about the crinkle. If you do like it, enjoy. But this is the fabric that I will be stitching it on. I had trouble showing this in my Mirabilia parade as well. It's that colour's probably truer. There, it's a deep blue. It's not a dark blue, but it's a really rich deep blue, and it's on Opal Lugana 28 count, and it's called Blue Orchid. So a really pretty fabric, so I'm really looking forward to working on that. And I also have the embellishment pack, and there are 2 water lilies that go on this one, and that is that's Pebbles and Shenandoah, or Shenandoah. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to starting on that. If you want to start it, if you have it, I'll be starting it on the 13th of December. I don't have a hashtag or anything like that, but feel free to start it with me if you like. Along with that, I had also ordered the 25th anniversary celebration Mirabilia booklet, and that has that design in it. That is also stitched mainly in Caron Water Lilies, 4 colours of Caron Water Lilies and 310, DMC 310, as well as 1 pack of Mill Hill beads and 1 pack of Mill Hill treasures. Or maybe it's more than 1 pack of Mill Hill treasures. I'm not sure, but 1 colour at least anyway. So that has the chart on that, and it also talks about 5 of Nora's special designs in there. So I wanted to have that one. And then a lady who lives in Australia had seen my Mirabilia parade and asked me if I would be interested in 3 that she has, and she asked, I think she had 5, and I was interested in all of them if I'm honest, but I could really only afford to get 3, so I got the 3 that I wanted the most. This is Mermaid of Atlantis, and it's number MD95, and the back says, the legend of the mermaids of Atlantis can be traced back as far as the 8th century BC. She swims about the marble halls, Greek columns, and ascending stairs covered in coral. Such beauties are the keepers of pirates' treasure and the caretakers of the lost city of Atlantis. Although they have never been caught, there have been many sightings near rocky cliffs and waves at dusk. Like the lotus flowers behind her, sorry, this is MD127, it's Persephone. Like the lotus flowers behind her with their blooms growing up from the darkness, Persephone emerges from the underworld once a year to return to her mother Demeter and herald the beginning of spring. And then this is Cassiopeia, MD131. Once confined to a constellation in the heavens as a punishment for her vanity, Cassiopeia returns to Earth holding delicate palm fronds, symbols of triumph and eternal life. And this one actually has glow-in-the-dark cryonic in it as well. I think the Lady Mirabilia does as well. And Cassiopeia, in Greek mythology, is actually the mother of Andromeda, which I'm also stitching. And I think the story is that Cassiopeia was bragging about how beautiful her and her daughter are, and as punishment, she, her daughter was to be tied to a rock in a storm naked or something like that. So, and then she was rescued by another Greek god in Greek mythology. So, yeah, very interesting. And then Colour Cascade Fabrics has, sometimes when the fabrics are dyed, they are misdyed. They have ink blots on them, but they're still put on the website at a reduced cost, and there's no waiting time. You only have to wait until they ship to you. And because I'm terrible at waiting, and I've decided, and I've found lately that it is taking a long time for fabric that I order from Colour Cascade to be dyed. But then this one was available, and I've never seen an opal fabric, but with the opal in gold metallic flecks rather than silver metallic. So this one has gold. I don't know if you can see that. But it is in the colour, it's 18 by 26. It's a 28 count Lugana in gold opal, and it's called Wicked Garden. And so I really like those ink blocks. So I'm looking forward to finding something to stitch on this one. It needs something special because gold flecks on it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that one out. Oh, I can see the mist dyes actually just there. You can see there, but they're in the middle of the fabric, so they'll probably be stitched over. And you can really only see them on one side. So if I stitch on the other side, they won't even be noticeable. So I'm really happy with that. And then, so that's it for my new purchases. Now for books, I've finished 2 books and I'm reading a third. I finished The Shadow Year by Hannah Richell. It's on my Kindle, so I don't have a picture, but I will mention it below. It is basically about 5 students who are just about to finish their studies, and they go out, it's a summer weekend, and they go out for one last hurrah, and they find a shack. It's like a cottage that's a bit run down, and it's pretty evident that no one's been inside this cottage for several years. And they decide, one of them has the idea, why don't we just go off the grid? We'll graduate, come back here and just live off the grid for a whole year. And this is going back in the 80s. So we won't start work, we'll start our intended work placements in a year, but we will do nothing but live off the land for a whole year. And so they decide to go ahead with it. And they try to keep a low profile so that no one knows that they're there. And then the book switches over to 30 years later, where a lady who's going through a really difficult time in her life receives the key to this cottage. And she goes to have a look at it, and it's pretty evident that no one has been in this cottage for several years, because that group of students since left. And she tries to do it up, and it just shows how important this cottage is in the lives of the people who go in it. So I enjoyed it. It wasn't groundbreakingly good, but it was good. It was okay. I also read The Year That Changed Everything. This is by Cathy Kelly. It's just a library book, and again, this wasn't earth-shatteringly good, but it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. It's basically about 3 ladies who have significant birthdays. One turns 30, one turns 40, and one turns 50, all on the same day, but they don't know each other at the start of the book. And something life-changing happens to each one of them on their birthday. And it follows them throughout the next year until they turn 31, 41, and 51 to see how their lives changed because of that one event that happened on their birthdays the year before. So that one's a good read as well. And now I'm reading The Perfumer's Secret by Fiona McIntosh. I'm really enjoying it. I am not far into it at all. Probably only about 108 pages. I'm enjoying it. It's basically about 2 families who have made their living out of creating perfume, and the main character has the gift of scent, so she can actually smell. If you give her a perfume, she can tell exactly what's in it. She also creates perfumes in her head just by imagining the scents. I think she said she can smell about 2,000 different scents just by thinking about them. I don't know whether that is actually possible or not, but that's the basis of this book anyway. But the book starts with her marriage to, she is from the 2nd biggest perfumer in France, and she is getting married to the head of the biggest perfumer in France, and they both live in the same village. So she has moved up the road from her house, where she lives with her two brothers, to live with him. But then I think it's World War I. I haven't actually come up to the actual year, I don't think, of when war is declared. But I think it's World War I, and all the men, including her husband and her two brothers, are caught up to fight in the war. And so she's left to look after both perfumery factories and flower picking and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I don't think it's going to be, you know, the best book I've read all year, but I am enjoying it. So that's called The Perfumer's Secret by Fiona McIntosh. I think that's it. So I don't think this was as long as I thought it would be, which is probably good. I'm gonna go and eat some lunch now, and hopefully this will be uploaded fairly soon. I will link everything that I've said. I will link below. Anyone who I've mentioned on YouTube will be also linked below. I'll also have a list of the projects that I've shown, as well as a list of the books that I've shown as well, or talked about. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and ask. I read all my comments, and I really appreciate anyone who does take the time to leave a comment. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking and for commenting, and I'm hoping to see you again in 2 weeks. Bye everyone.